right, what's up, Chiefs Kingdom? This is Josh here with the Arrowhead Kingdom Chiefs Cast Live, and we are back in the playoffs, and that's not surprising to most of us. And I am joined for a special playoff preview with a Cincinnati native and fan of local sports extraordinaire. Please welcome Jason Schilling.
Hey, Josh, how you doing?
Doing well. And I got to be honest, I'm not surprised to see you guys in the playoffs. I kind of saw that coming for the vast majority of the year. I think that Burrow in particular had a great bounce back season that started from the beginning of it. He and Chase have picked up all that chemistry that they had going on in LSU. It's been pretty amazing to watch. So
they're peaking too, I would say. I mean,
they're
the beginning of the year is a little rough. We're peaking right now because we had a matchup against the Raiders earlier this year and we won by 20, and Burrow had 150 yards. That's it. Yeah. You think he's gonna throw 150 on Saturday?
I would hope he can. I'd hope he can throw at least that.
I don't.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna throw like 300, yards. It's going to be whether or not that Raiders pass rush can, really toss Burrow around. But you look at the numbers. I mean, Burrow put up these numbers in, 2021 with 51 sacks against them.
So what week was that game? What week was that game?
What week that game? Oh man, I have to look it back up. Let me see. I had it up in a window earlier today. That was November 21st.
Got it. So that would have been around week 10-ish, which I would argue that both of these teams are kind of different now. The Raiders certainly were. They started out, they were 3-0 to start the season. They got big wins over the Ravens. They had the national media kind of talking about how they could theoretically be the ones to take the West. I never really believed that from my seat. But they definitely looked like a team that was going to have to be contended with, and the whole Gruden stuff that we won't get into all went down. They kind of fell apart, and they've put themselves back together. So, I think
we definitely caught a falling apart week because they had like two turnovers. Derek Carr threw an in, and I think there was another fumble. So it was back to their turnover ways, which kind of stalled their hot start. So we caught them on that week. So it will be interesting to see, but. The Bengals definitely did not have we had a hot quarter. We put up 19 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That game. And it was basically all Burrow just starting to light it up. So our offense didn't even show up in that game until the fourth quarter, and we put 19 on the board.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see because that was also our turning point, and I'd argue, we can. Burrow and company can rack them up next Saturday, hopefully. So
I got to throw out in solidarity. I'm drinking an orange beer. So I got the
okay. There you go.
Got the Third Space Happy Place. We're not sponsored by them, but we'll pick up the phone if they call. So that's what I'm drinking.
I'm drinking coffee still. That's how my day's gone.
Sure, got it. All right. So the first question that I have, I mean, I think the Bengals playoff woes have been pretty well documented. Have not. All right. So first question that I have, I think that the Bengals playoff woes have been pretty well documented. I believe they're sitting on the longest streak without winning a playoff game. Kansas City had that for a long time. I was so thrilled into the 2015 season. So January 2016, when that finally went away against the Texans. You've seen all the memes that are out there on the internet about nobody's ever sent a text message about the Bengals winning a playoff game. So does that end this weekend?
Oh man, I think it does. I mean, and this is not a new week for us, right? I've 7 times with Marvin Lewis, we thought we were going to end this drought, right? And I think it does come into an end, and it's. If you read any of the Athletic articles, it's full circle, curse of Bo Jackson coming to an end. Our last playoff win came in that 1991 season against the Oilers. We lost the following week to the Raiders, 20-10. But in that game, it was a tackle that injured Bo Jackson's hip, and he never played another down. Right? Yeah. And then Bengals go on to not win another playoff game for 31 years. Until this is our first matchup against the Raiders in the playoffs. Obviously, those other 7 times that we lost Steelers twice, Texans twice, Chargers, Colts, Jets. I mean, Mark Sanchez, for God's sake, beat us.
Yeah. Those Sanchez
2005.
Jets were
Not,
interesting. They always went farther than they were supposed to. They won games.
It's not a good memory though. It's like, oh my god, that was not 2005, 2009. Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah. Now, totally feel exactly where you're from. I mean, there was the Jim Harbaugh Colts. There was the no punt game against the Peyton Manning Colts. There was the kicker that shall not be named. I call him Voldemort, who couldn't make the kick against the Broncos the years they were supposed to be in the Super Bowl. So totally understand what you're going through, and I'm 100% rooting for you to knock out a team that, as a Chiefs fan, I am wired to hate, and I hope you guys move on. So let's just assume that you guys do take care of business this weekend at home. How far do you see the Bengals going? Honestly, you're always going to sit there and pick that they go to the Super Bowl, but how far do you honestly see them going?
Man, I mean, I hate to be cliche, but you just play for this week, because I had so many, I lived in Cleveland for 5 years. So I got a lot of Browns fans. I lived in Pittsburgh. So I've been through all these AFC North cities. So I got a lot of different people and loyalties I have kind of connections with. But they kept asking me, oh, you have a chance for the number 2 seed. Why are you resting Burrow? I was like, we're 0-7. I have not seen a playoff win. I was like, the second week is not guaranteed for a hope and a prayer. You might get that advanced seeding, but I think it was the right call. I didn't want, any hot sauce from Myles Garrett or Jadeveon Clowney in the final week in Lake Erie, right? It's like, why would you want to subject Burrow to that? He's going to get rushed. I don't want that. But I think they can, win this Saturday. Obviously, I'm there. Selfishly, I do think they match up well against the rest of the AFC. I mean, they have a legit shot if, if Joe Burrow gets modest protection, our, run defense, which is tops in the league, comes up and makes teams one-dimensional, which I think it will on Saturday. So we did, against them in week 10. So that should easily cruise us to the next week, who, I think will end up playing, well, I guess if KC wins, Bills win, we'd be lowest seed, we go to Tennessee, right? So I'm fine with going to Tennessee. I like that. That's great. Direct flights from Milwaukee.
Yeah, there you go.
I'd probably be there. I'm probably going to be there. So I think I'm not afraid of that game either. So that's fine. And obviously we took down Kansas City this year, but whole different vibe in the playoffs. I think we'd see a different Mahomes, but I think, that Titans route would be probably pretty likely. Selfishly, you want like the unthinkable to happen, so we get another home game right away, like Steelers win and Patriots win, and all of a sudden the Steelers are in Tennessee and we're playing the Patriots at home. Could happen.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I don't think it will, but
so the ideal situation is you're playing the Patriots in the next week to then go against the winner of the Steelers and the Titans. So I mean, you got to say the ideal situation is you get another home game, which is a crack against the Steelers at home.
Oh God. I mean, even though we've dominated this year, that's the last matchup I ever want to see.
That's the last thing you want.
That's the last thing I ever want to see. It'd be terrifying. But if it's for the AFC Championship, I'm okay. I'll forget about it, because I just want to taste sweet glory for a moment in time here.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, that would be the equivalent of me sitting here wishing that the Raiders managed to run through the Bengals and the Titans, and then we got to host them for the AFC Championship.
Yeah. And it's like, no.
I just don't see it happening. I mean, I've been kind of looking this whole time, and I picture the Chiefs playing the Titans and Tennessee. That's just kind of what I've been looking at. But
yeah,
I honestly wouldn't be surprised.
KC over Bengals.
Well, it would be KC over Bills, and then the Bengals, going down to the Titans in round 2. But
okay, so that's the route you see.
Yeah,
and so that's down there in Tennessee for the. Okay, got it.
Exactly. Basically pick and shock the entire time, and none of these wild card teams are going anywhere, and that's really how I see this going. I think all 3 wild card teams in the AFC get taken care of this weekend. I think the NFC is a little bit different of a story, but
me too.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you. Not trying to play Burrow and try and get the 2 seed. The two seed's not a whole lot better than where you are. At this.
What do you get?
Yeah.
Nothing.
I mean,
You don't get
if
a
we didn't have
bye.
this stupid 7th playoff team, which I don't think we should have, I'll be clear about that. I've never liked that.
Yeah, no, it's
Then you do play for that 2 seed because that week off is huge.
meaningful. It's
Yeah.
meaningful, especially when you added an extra game.
Yeah, got it. So, real quick, who do you expect to see in the Super Bowl from the NFC? I mean, obviously we live in Wisconsin, so the
Yeah.
easy way is to
I mean,
stroke the
Packers.
home team.
I would love a Packers Bengals matchup. Just living
Yeah.
here now and with my team. I hope it gets moved to Dallas so it makes it more affordable for me. It's my selfish reasons. I don't think it will,
No, for
but
sure.
I think if I'm set my limits max of what I would pay to go to a Super Bowl, maybe 10,000. I don't know. I would probably pay 10,000.
Yeah,
I
sure.
don't know what your max is. I don't know. Did you go for Casey?
So I
He went,
didn't
right?
when they made it. I looked at going there. I looked at going to Kansas City and hanging out in Power and Light, but we ended up just throwing a big Super Bowl party here. This was about the time that we were 6 years into our watch party that we had, and so I just took the room and I DJ'd through the entire Super Bowl. We
There you
had
go.
silent disco headphones for the commercials. We played the clip of Travis Kelce saying, "You got to fight for your right to party," with the
Oh, yeah.
radio call
And
out that I was.
you gotta love our Cincinnati guys just with
Oh yeah.
Evan
Travis
Kelsey,
Travis
man.
Kelsey's
He
great.
beats the drum. I mean, he's from Northeast Ohio too,
Yeah,
but he
yeah.
beats the Cincy drum pretty hard. Love
He
that guy.
he
Love the
does. No,
Kelseys.
I'm a big Kelsey fan, and then I've always had this kind of draw to the Bearcats. So I'm part of one of the big national fraternities, Sigma Alpha Epsilon. And one of the
Oh yeah.
stories that we always heard was Judge Alfred Nippert was essentially the donor that got that organization through a big part of the first half of the 1900s. And one of the stories with him is he had a son who died playing football. And when the University of Cincinnati looked at shuttering the football program because it was dangerous, he actually was a big part of making sure that it stayed and bankrolled a good part of the Nippert Stadium. And his thing was, my son loves football. Don't kill football. That would be the worst way to honor his legacy. How about we just name the stadium after him? It was roughly something like that. So I've always had a bit of a draw to the Bearcats. I was rooting for him against Alabama in the college football playoff, and that worked out about as well as we thought it would.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, and have you been down to Nippert?
I have not been to
Like the
Nippert.
actual field, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's right in the it's right in the middle of campus, right there in Clifton. It's like I think early 1900s.
Yeah.
It's been around, and they've played football in that location on that field since 1915. It's one of I think 4 or 5 that are that old. But it's crazy.
Ton of history there and history that I'm interested in. No, I mean I've been to a Reds game. That's my stuff. I've been there a handful of times.
Yeah. And they're gonna get if Bengals in this on Saturday, they're gonna get the biggest losers. They're at 26 years or something since 95.
Yep. So yeah,
abysmal.
I mean, Joe Burrow is the kind of guy that I think can change the fortunes of a franchise, and that's coming from somebody who went through a lot of just pain that all of a sudden turned off like a light switch, and it was nice.
I don't know. I always get like man crushes with Cincinnati sports heroes, and we always do that, obviously.
Yeah.
But I had a really big Joey Votto man crush in 2010, 2012.
Sure.
Joey Votto's, some of those years, big man crush. So this one's creeping up there.
Joe
Burrow's a man. There's something about this guy, man. He's gonna bring greatness. It's inexplicable, but
I mean, I think it'll be.
He'll probably get comeback player of the year. And to put up his gaudy numbers with 51 sacks against them. Whew.
Yeah. And so that gets into the next question that I have. So we've got a bunch of NFL awards coming. So I'm going to give you a chance because I feel like you're going to have personnel in line to compete for some of these. Who are you seeing winning some of the big NFL awards? So, I mean, Burrow is comeback play of the year. I can't come up with anybody better. Honestly.
No, I think he'll get that one. He's in MVP discussion. I don't think that's, he's there yet, but he's in comeback player. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Leading this team the way he is. I mean, Jamar Chase, offensive rookie of the year, naturally. And Zach Taylor, coach of the year. I don't see why not. I mean, taking this team from what it was in the past couple of years. I mean, we didn't really get to see what last year was like with the injury to Joe Burrow, but I mean, this year, it is like from watching the old Marvin Lewis teams, it's like a different animal out there on the field. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's just you really like to see it. So I'm pretty amazed at what they've put together, and you know, superlatives are after the Super Bowl, right? So will they take playoff into considerations? I mean, I don't, or is it regular season? Do they just
They're
take?
not supposed to. I mean, and that's
They're
part
not
of the
supposed to,
argument.
but let's
Wait, you know.
but let's say Zach Taylor gets a win on Saturday. Like, tell me how he's not the ending a 31-year drought.
So I should
I
know
mean,
the answer to this, but I'm pretty sure
you're
they
up
have to
against
vote
tremendous
before this.
pressure.
I
They
think
do
they
have to vote, and then they announce.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb. It's kind of dumb. So I mean,
I think it's dumb.
yeah, I expect Aaron Rodgers.
Because maybe he
to win
doesn't
the
get it,
MVP.
but if he ends it, he's going to be on floats in Cincinnati.
Yep.
That's the reality.
I expect Rodgers to win the MVP, but I think that a vote for Rodgers, Brady, Burrow, or even Derek Carr, for that matter, as much as it kills me to say that, I think are appropriate MVP votes. I don't think there would be anything wrong with Joe Burrow winning the MVP. I think it's a pretty, easy path to that. Jamar Chase, I fully expect to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, but that's because they don't look at linemen. I mean, Creed Humphrey, the center for the Chiefs, is the number one PFF rated rookie of the entire class, but he's a center. He ain't winning.
Not flashy.
He's a center. He's not
flashy. You don't put up stats. I mean, you put up stats, but you don't put up.
You put up stats, but not the ones anybody looks at.
Stats.
Not the ones that anybody looks at. I mean, if there was any question for Chase, that was answered in Week 17 with that display against Kansas City. So
he just makes magic happen. I don't know. It's just magical.
Yeah.
And then I think we're going to bring some awards.
Yeah, Taylor for Coach of the Year. I can't think of another AFC team that I would think of. No. The only other place I would potentially go is groundbreak and give it to the interim guy in Vegas, for what he kept on the rails. But I don't see that happening. I don't.
No, I know. So, I think that'd be just kind of crazy in my mind. You got to give it to a long-term coach who's actually legitimately turned a franchise around and gotten
I could see. Okay. Hey, I know how that's like. Yeah. Come on in.
Here's one.
What's going on? You guys rooting for the Bengals this weekend?
Can you say who day? My in-laws are actually coming in. It'll be fun. My in-laws are coming in, and they're big Browns fans. So they're super pissed we have a good quarterback.
Sure.
They stuck with Baker for another year. So, and Athens isn't far away from Cleveland either. So it's it'll be fun. We're gonna watch it. I'm gonna make some skyline chili dip.
There you go.
And I'll be singing our touchdown song, and getting everybody riled up. That'll be our typical thing. My buddy screwed up and failed to get us tickets. He has season tickets. I'm like, well, Drew, I mean, it was coming down. It was 2 games before, obviously it was right before we played Kansas City. And so we clinched, obviously, with Kansas City. And I think it was must have been middle of the week before that. I was like, Drew, sign up for tickets. Let's get it before we clinch. I mean, if we win, we clinch. I know it's a gamble, and so he said, yep, we'll do it. He didn't do it. He's like, oh, well, I got busy. I'm like, didn't they clinch? I'm like, oh, good thing we no, you didn't. Okay. So no, now I'm not going to come in because it's, I have to scalp and do all this stuff.
It sucks.
So it was a little unfortunate, but he's still going to go. I'm going to try to, if we make it to Tennessee, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the likely path. So we'll be in Nashville and get a direct flight.
Yep.
That'll be fun. It's a little warmer.
I've got
this
flights.
This one can't say who did though.
I got flights booked to Nashville for championship weekend. I got hotel rooms. I got all that stuff. When the Chiefs were 3-4, I put down a bet for them to win the Super Bowl. So that's where I've been.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I sure did.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
good for you.
So the ideal situation for me, I got a friend who's a Titans fan, and I told him, we'll go to the game if that comes up. So what I'm really hoping is that we get to the point they're playing each other. He bet on the Titans at the beginning of the season. We both get buyouts, and we use that to buy tickets. So
But Wisconsin doesn't allow sports betting, Mr. Kingsley.
Yeah, sure. I don't spend all my time in Wisconsin, Mr. Schilling.
Oh yeah, I trust me. I have to drive to Cincinnati. I'm like, oh, I'm in Indiana. Oh, let me. Can you pull over and drive real quick?
Pull
I
over the
gotta check some
DraftKings
sports
app.
books. Yeah, I gotta. Whoops.
Yeah.
Why
There's
are
a
you
couple of
always
laws that
in
just don't line
Illinois?
up the same way.
Yeah. Are you ghosting your phone to make it think that you're in Illinois?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
no, that's
Or you can
fun
just know a
stuff. No,
guy.
or he can just know a guy and place a guy through him and have it all coordinated. This one's a little terror, man.
Sure. Looks
He
like a
is.
terror.
He's 28 pounds. He's like 18 months.
That's
He's
great.
almost as big as my other one now.
Yeah.
But no, I'm hopeful we, come away with the dub. That's all I can muster. I've been to three of the 7 playoff games
Yep.
that we lost. I mean, it's just, and that was almost all the home ones. I didn't go to the ones that were in Texas, but I mean, just utter disappointment with those. Oh,
No.
it's like crushing. It's like you have these elite offenses. The worst thing that can happen for us is because in all these games, I mean, we had Carson Palmer, Andy Dalton, but we had some really top offenses, right? Because we had some good weapons. But then all of these playoff games, no offense.
Ocho Cinco, you had all those guys.
TJ,
Tushmanzada.
Rudy, yeah. Well, 2005 is the year thou shall not mention. I mean,
The
Timo
law
von Oelhoffen.
firm at running back.
Yeah. No, it's the list is pretty respectable. Some of those offensive teams we put up there, and we had a really good line there in the 2000s with Whitworth anchoring left side. I mean, that was probably our key moment where our line was probably the best it's been. Now it's kind of a mixed mash, but it's held its own. We got, I mean, a lot of work to do there next season, but so does everybody in the league.
Well, the time I was always rooting for you guys was anytime you played the Steelers. It's just like, man, I hope you guys can kick this kid brother thing here one of these days and just get that monkey off the back.
We destroyed him this year. It was great. It was great, especially Ben's last year. Last year we destroyed him. Oh yeah, no, thank you. Because I mean, I can't tell you how many Steelers wins I've seen in that stadium. It's just so dejecting. And then I lived in Pittsburgh and went to Bengals Steelers game in Pittsburgh. That's dejecting. I mean, I hate those yellow towels. You have no idea. It is a hatred that runs so deep in my veins. It is truly something special. My hatred for that city.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's the Denver Broncos. Because I mean, I grew up through the Elway years and everything, and the Chiefs actually just finished sweeping them for the 7th year in a row, and I don't think there's anything that could make me happier. Yeah, 7 years in a row.
7 years?
7 years.
I had no idea.
And they split with them that previous one, so they've won 9 of the last 10 and everything. Or sorry, more than that. I can't do math. Yeah, they've won 15 of the last 16. So
that's dominance.
Yeah, it's just been utter dominance. And I mean, the Denver Broncos, I hate that team. And I've always been pretty annoyed with the Steelers because I mean, you can find Steelers fans everywhere, and most of them will talk about how they've been fans their entire life, and it's just like, cool, show me Pittsburgh on a map, And I have a college friend who, would talk about being this massive Steelers fan.
Have you ever been to Heinz Field?
Yeah, I remember being in Pittsburgh, and I sent him a text that I was at Primanti Brothers. He's like, I don't know what the hell that is. And I'm just like, yeah, you're not a Steelers fan.
Primanti's.
Yeah, it's the best damn sandwich you can get. But
I mean, you got to eat something, I suppose. But those assholes put fries on a sandwich. Come on.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's delicious.
It's okay. It's okay. It's not my cup of tea. I just think the Pittsburgh food scene's garbage. If you really want to boil it down, especially coming from Cleveland to there. I mean, it's all pierogies, which are flavorless, like butter sacks of sometimes filled with things. But I pass on pierogies, hard pass on pierogies, and I don't really like fries on sandwiches. I'm like, why would you put potato on a sandwich, guys?
Yeah, I don't know.
And they it's like absurdly stacked. Oh, you do?
Right, okay. So last question: when you have your skyline, how do you have it? How many ways?
Well, it's situational. It's all situational. So
Oh,
this
okay.
Saturday, I'm just gonna make it dip. So the
Sure.
cream cheese, the chili, then the cheese, and I'll bake it, and then tortillas. If I'm there, my brother lives, in Hyde Park, close to downtown. So we'd normally cruise over to the Clifton skyline, which is close to the UC Medical School where he went to school. So I would cruise over there, and I'd always get, I'd probably get a three-way extra juicy. So they kind of bring another plate for that situation because you
Sure.
get more juice. And then I get two side conies.
Gotta have the two
So
side conies. I mean,
yeah, two side conies, no onions or mustard. Sometimes I get the onions, but then they obviously have your hot sauce, and then it's really important to get the hot sauce on, and one oyster crack per bite is the appropriate ratio I've deemed. So
sure.
that's my path to execution. But if I'm there, yeah, that's what I'll get.
Yeah, that's
But
great.
I typically don't make the noodles at home, right? Because it's not the same for me. I'll make the dip at home and I'll get my fix that way. But then when I go, I actually have to go. So I'll either go to that one or I go to this one in Eastgate that I went to a lot in high school. So that one brings back a lot of memories because I sat there as 15-year-old.
Yeah, yeah. So when we're making it, we'll buy the cans at the store because you can thankfully
Don't buy them. I have like 12 of them. Don't
well,
buy
sure,
them.
sure.
I will
So
drop one off
fair
next
enough,
time I
fair
see
enough,
you.
fair enough.
I
But
have so many cans. It expires in 2023. I checked today
oh,
because
fair enough.
I
Yeah,
had
yeah.
to get the cream cheese, but
That's
yeah.
great. No, my wife makes a pretty proper homemade mac and cheese where she'll do the
Oh,
cheese
nice.
sauce like a gravy, and so we like to do skyline over mac and cheese, add beans.
Oh yeah, that sounds terrific.
Yeah,
It's a sauce. If you treat it like a sauce, like you
exactly,
have a
exactly.
better.
That's what it is.
It's not. That's what I tell people. It's really not a chili because I like a hearty chili and I make a mean
Sure.
hearty homemade chili. But this is a
Yeah, yeah,
sauce, and it's a
yeah.
sauce you can enjoy in some unique ways if you open up your imagination.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, hearty chili with cinnamon rolls on the side. That's my thing. It's a
Oh
Kansas,
man,
Nebraska thing. I had no idea that it wasn't a thing everyone did until probably about 5 years ago. But anyway,
it
all
took
right.
that
Well,
long, huh?
yeah. Well, hey, thanks again for
Yeah,
jumping on here and rooting for you this weekend. But more importantly, go Chiefs.
yeah. Who dey?